Anyway, I'm new here at Christ Church of Fountain Hills. Don Lawrence is the founding pastor, and he is stepping completely out at the very end of January. And I'm going to fill his shoes, and we're in the middle of a transition, and it's just going so very well. I love Don Lawrence, the Lawrence family. I've enjoyed working with them immensely at this point right now, and so the transition's taking place. Here's a couple things to keep in mind of what's coming up. On December 4th, so we have 2 weekends still before we get to December 4th. On December 4th, we're going to 2 services, 9 a.m. and 10:45. And they're going to be identical services. So you early birds, a little bit of an early one for you. For the rest of us who love to sleep in a little bit, I won't be able to, but at 10:45 we'll have a service that, again, identical. We're going to have a new welcome center that'll be outside at that time. We're challenging people who call Christ Church of Fountain Hills home to work one, worship one, if you will. To serve and serve in communion. Work one, worship one. All right? Or some would say sit one, serve one, whichever you prefer. And that way we can just have enough volunteers to make our weekend experiences dynamic. Now, on that December 4th weekend, coming up in a couple weeks, I've asked a friend, his name is Travis Brown. He was the backup quarterback for Peyton Manning with the Indianapolis Colts. He's going to be speaking that morning. It's an exciting time. I'll do just a little bit of an intro with him, and then as I was talking to him, he's just going to be the preacher that morning. Travis Brown will show some clips of him marching down the field in the NFL. He'd still be playing. He injured his shoulder, and I'm sure he'll tell some of that story. But on December 4th, I want to encourage you to invite friends, get a chance to meet a really amazing guy by the name of Travis Brown, who can tell some cool stories about the NFL, about his faith, and just a great guy. Well, listen, I'm not going to talk much longer. I do want to say a couple quick things, and then we're going to have the kids come up and sing, and then we're going to call it a day, because we're entering into a celebration time, in my opinion, of the year. Thanksgiving's coming. Right after Thanksgiving, we enter into a time of Christmas. I love Christmas time. And then we step another forward into January of New Year's, kicking into 2017. It's a time for celebration. It's a time to try to wind the year down. And I don't know about you, but it's been a little bit of a stressful year, has it not? Crazy times we're in. And I just hope and pray over the next couple of months that we as Christ Church of Fountain Hills will finish this year with a great celebratory mentality and move into the new year and keep being the hands and feet of Jesus out in our community. We've been in a message series called And So It Begins through Genesis. And right now, last week and this week, I'm supposed to be talking about Jacob a little bit, but due to kind of a special feel of today and having the kids up singing and Operation Christmas Child packing the boxes, I'm not going to do a typical message. All right? I'm being reminded, my 2 youngest, I have 4 kids. My youngest is a freshman now, and I remember this phase. It's giving me flashbacks. It might be a little PTSD, they call it. And hang in there, moms and dads. This phase of these little kids, they are beautiful and amazing as long as they're not mine. Okay? I cannot wait to be a grandpa. My oldest is 20. I don't want to rush her yet, but she is married, so I'm going to start putting a little pressure on her. I'm excited to be a grandpa. I'm 46, and I want to be a young grandpa so I can bring him over and give him chocolate and Dr. Pepper and torture her like she tortured me when she was this age. All right. Anyway, let me say this. This is my message right here. I want to encourage you today to go home sometime today or tomorrow and read Genesis chapter 32. It's a part of a story, the little window of the story of Jacob. And there's a scene in there where he literally wrestles with God. Now, we don't get perfect clarity that it's actually God he's wrestling with. It's an angel of the Lord, I believe. Right? It says in the scriptures a man shows up. And he's wrestling with a man all night long. And Jacob grabs him and forces this angel to bless him. It's a weird story. And I have lots of questions someday when I meet the Lord. These are some of the questions that I have written down that I'd like to ask him. Like, how did Jacob beat your angel in wrestling? But he didn't really, because as soon as Jacob released him, after he forced the angel to give him a blessing, so weird to think about, says the angel touched his hip. And that Jacob, for the rest of his life, walked with a giant limp. And as I was reading that, the only thing I want to tell us this morning for a message is this. You and I can control nothing. Think about it. We can control nothing. Jacob spent most of his life trying to control everything. He manipulated his brother Esau. He worked with his mom to steal the blessing. There's all kinds of crazy cool stories with Jacob as he tried to control everything. And he got his way in some areas, but he ended up with a giant limp. And I'm convinced the more we try to control things, the more injury we cause in our lives. You and I can't control anything. I'm so grateful I'm not speaking for 30 minutes today. It's so rare. All right, this is awesome. I love it. Let me share a couple things, some announcements, and we're literally going to have the kids come up and sing, and then Carrie's going to come up after the kids sing and talk to us about what we're going to do for an hour after the service, however long it takes. It's an exciting time. Let me share a couple quick announcements. You heard the December 4th thing. Keep that in mind. I want to encourage everybody here to take out your connection card and tear that off. And there's pins in the back if you want to fill one out later. Promised Land, young families, I want to welcome you to come back each weekend. I want you to be a part of this church. I want to get to know you. I want your kids here. I just would really love to be your pastor. And if you're not committed to a church somewhere, I want to encourage you to join here. We have a great time, very relational church, a lot of fun on the weekends, and I promise we'll get to know each other and continue to be a great family. So I really want to work strong with Promised Land. I love what's going on over there. Carrie and I are learning to get to know each other and figuring out the relationship between the church and Promised Land and how it works. It's exciting, and I'm so grateful you're here, and I'm grateful that you're going to be coming up with your kids and sharing the stage as they sing with us. So that's really all I have when it comes to announcements. Fill this out. There's a treasure box on your way out. Very soon, we're going to have a welcome center, a giant structure out of the parking lot. You'll see it on December 4th. That's where these will get dropped off. All questions will be answered at the welcome center. But until then, there's this box literally out the door as you come in, or as you go out, you'll see the box. Put your cards in there. For those of you who came prepared to give of your tithes and your offerings, drop those in the box as well. Thank you. And we're going to end the entire service by having communion out in the prayer garden. You can exit out these doors, or you can catch it on a side gate on your way out, okay? I just want to encourage you, communion is just a quick time. Don't worry about tiptoeing. Don't worry about being quiet. Next week we'll do normal passing of communion trays, but on the way out, partake of communion. We have some more instructions here in a second. I want to kick in a video about Operation Christmas Child. While the video is playing, because you kids are about to explode, let's have the kids come up on stage with Carrie. Come on up now. Here's the video.
The kids are playing, are laughing, joyful.
It's like a whole world to them, because for the first time they have received this precious gift.
The message through the box is not only the toys that makes them smile. The message here is that Jesus loves them.
You've got an army of volunteers that pack the boxes. They're helping OCC to take the gospel literally to millions of children.
We are opening doors for other churches and other parts of the world to do ministry in their local community.
They receive a box and also an invitation to come back and learn more about Christ.
We just don't want to just hand out a box and stop there. We want them to grow in their faith.
So it started with a box, and it's ending with communities and countries being changed.
It never ceases to amaze me how a simple box can change the world for a child.
Thousands will be impacted by just one gift.
Life is for living with you. I made my decision. You lift me up, fill my eyes with wonder. Forever young in your love, this freedom's untainted. With you, no moment is wasted. See the sun now bursting through the clouds, black and white, turn to color all around. All is new in the Savior I have found. This is living now. This is living now. You lead the way, got your eye beside me. In your love, I'm complete. There's nothing like living with you. This life we created, I choose. See the sun now bursting through the clouds, black and white, turn to color all around. All is new in the Savior I have found. This is living now. This is living now. You take me higher than I've been before. It's your work and love sees me soar. Got your freedom is an open door. You are everything I want and more.
Baby, I ain't really know what living is. Is it love? If it was, am I living it? Do I living it? So sounding. Love is the ocean you drown. Receive the embrace the lovely place. The place to see no Monday, grace the place to be. It means I don't ever need an umbrella. I'm cool in the cold and the hot weather. Well, I never ever. I was down the band in the hands of big plans. And they think bad in life when living on the touch. Instead of stopping, what was like, what's the dream of? What's the whole thing? What's the life for? Live to no end. If this is living, so I've been given a gift. If I'm gonna live, I can live today. So what's the dream of? What's the whole thing? What's the life for? Live to no end. This is living. The life I've been given a gift. If I'm gonna live, I'm gonna live today. Yeah.
some shoe boxes? Well, thanks to the amazing generosity of our church and our preschool families, we have collected a mountain of items to put in those shoe boxes. And our goal today is to pack 500 shoe boxes. Just give you an idea, last year we thought we did good, and we did. We packed 240. So we've got our work cut out for us. I want you guys to look at my list. You see my list? This list is going to tell everybody how to pack a shoebox. And if you can't remember, it's going to be right up on the screen in the fellowship hall. So the first thing we're going to do, guys, when we're ready to pack shoe boxes, is we're going to get an empty shoebox. They're all stacked up on the wall. We're going to pick a box. We're going to decide, are we going to pack for a boy or a girl? Once you decide, you go find that line and you follow the directions that are on the table. It'll tell you exactly what to put in those boxes. When you're finished, you come to the end. It'll be time to write a note to that special child who's going to get that shoebox. After you write that note, you put it right on the top, you close it, you put a rubber band around it, and you put the tag that says if it's for a boy or a girl. And then the next thing is the most important thing. We're going to take our shoeboxes into the lobby of the fellowship hall, and we are going to pray to our God and King Savior, Jesus, that shoebox is going to get to just the right child who needs to hear about the love that he has for them. And after we pray over that box, it's good to go. We have a trailer out there that's going to be empty. You're going to see my husband, Dave. He's got a great space management brain. He's going to get all 500 of the boxes in that trailer. And our friend Phil is going to be counting. Do not distract Phil, please. We need to know how many we did so we can praise God for that. So, what we're going to do is, if it's too crowded for y'all to pack a shoebox, have some lunch. Or you're all done packing shoeboxes, have some lunch. Pastor Gary's Life Group has done an amazing act for us. They're down there grilling hot dogs and hamburgers, and they're ready to feed us. So, because we have 500 boxes, do not think that one shoebox is enough. Pack as many as you like, and we're going to stay till it's all done. There is one more really important thing that we need to know. Each shoebox is going to go anywhere it can go anywhere in the world, and the cost of sending those shoeboxes is $7, which is amazing if you think about it. So what we're doing is there's going to be a treasure box that normally collects our Connect cards and our ties is going to go down to the fellowship hall when we're done with it, and it's going to have a place for you guys if you want to donate. $7 a box. If you have to write a check today, that's great. Just make it out to CCFH, and we'll make sure that Samaritan's Purse gets all the funds to mail the shoeboxes. That's a $3,500 goal. But I know that at this church, the body of Christ, we are more than generous. So, is everybody ready? Yeah! When I count to 3, the kids are going to go sit down with their moms and dads, and Pastor Trent's going to come up one more time. 1, 2, 3.
Let the chaos begin. Hey, real quick, as we're headed out here in just 1 minute, I want to say one thing about communion. As you go out, partake of communion if you want to. That many times people are concerned that it's supposed to be quiet and very reverent. But don't forget, the greatest thing in life is to be loved. And Jesus says, if you love me, obey me. I think it's amazing today that you and I are going to go down the hill here to the other building, and we're going to pack shoe boxes, and those boxes are going to go all around the world, bringing joy into the lives of what the scriptures call the least of these sometimes, the poor. I do work in Africa, and we have a big thing coming up in December where, so on December 4th, we have Travis Brown coming in, who's been in the NFL. December 11th, the next weekend, if he gets permission, and we'll know this week, Oketch Sam, our director in Africa, is going to be here and is going to be communicating with us all on December 11th. You want to meet an amazing African man with an incredible accent, and he's got the biggest smile. December 11th is going to be a cool weekend to be here for the 2 services as well. And so anyway, we're getting ready to go be the church. I love that there are days where we're going to stir it up and change things. A day's coming, I'll warn you now, it might be a year from now, it might be 6 months. You come in here and we're all going to leave in our socks because we're all going to donate our shoes. And I may not warn you when we do that. You need to be ready. All right? And so that might be a day where you don't want to wear your $600 pair of shoes, girls. All right? And so anyway, This is church, right? To come together, to celebrate, to be family and friends, and go do the great work that Jesus wants us to do. Listen, don't leave today without packing a box. And if you're like Thomas Land family, and there's enough people here that not everybody knows everybody. So what? We're family. Meet somebody you don't know, break the awkward factor, shake hands, because I know for a fact every single one of us would do anything for each other in this room and love one another. And the best thing you can do today is introduce yourself to somebody you don't know, possibly meet a new friend for the rest of your life. All right? Love you guys. This is great. Let's close in prayer. Communion will be in the prayer garden. Those who are prepared for your tithes and offerings on the way out. And everybody, for the $7 gift, the box will be down in the other building for that. Give what you can. We're going to figure out a way as a church to take care of the rest. But if you can give to that, that would be great. We're so grateful for everybody here. Love you guys. Let's pray. Father in heaven, we love you. We thank you. Thank you for little children. Thank you for their fun, their energy. They literally light us all up. And we know that you're honored by them as well. So today, God, as we go down and pack some boxes and give the simple thing of toys and gifts to people around the world, God, would you go before those boxes, and would hearts of children in Muslim countries, in places where people are far from you, they would receive those boxes. And then would you give Samaritan's Purse the energy and the passion to follow through with the message and the hope and the love and the forgiveness that can only come through Jesus. Thank you that we get to be a part of making world impact. Thank you for using us, Jesus. We pray that you are honored today. You are our only audience. Jesus, it's in your name I pray. All God's people said, amen. Hey, let's go. Communion out there. Go grab a burger and a hot dog. Go pack a box. Have a great weekend, everybody.